remember any of it. Don't remember any of it.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Ought to Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
You look like fucking Brolin, you're a Leeds hating bastard.
Look like some sort of fucking weird floating head. No.
He's a utensil player a bit, innit?
I mean, I feel a bit right, dickhead.
Nothing spectacular, really.
Got him.
Nah, you didn't.
I don't actually how much of that the people saw of that, but I tried. I nearly got you. About Luke defecating himself last night enjoying the festival. So, welcome everyone to the Ought to Know Better podcast. It is the pre-season, I suppose it's the first episode of the pre-season, now it's officially started. How are we all doing, chaps? We've got Luke and we've got Jay, and all the way from the Emerald Isle, Mr. Joe from Leeds United the View. How are you, sir?
Good, yeah. Good timing to do this tonight because there was nothing else happening, and then something happened.
Yeah. And then something's just dropped in. We might as well start with that then, chaps. Rothwell has signed for us, apparently. I've even had time, the professional outfit that we are. I've even had time to stick something in the brand. What do you reckon to that then? There he is.
He almost looks like he should be one of the physios or carrying the cones.
It does, doesn't it? It does look like a physio.
Yeah, it does a bit.
It does.
But I mean, I'm all for it. I think certainly for me, it's not overwhelming. It's probably quite underwhelming. We didn't do all that season for.
Your mic's going a little bit.
Robo Luke.
Yeah.
Yo,
yeah, but it's a bit Dalek-y Robo Luke there. You want to give it another go? Jay, give us your thoughts on Rothwell, mate, before Luke sorts his stuff out.
Oh, I'm going to disappoint you by saying I don't know a great deal about him, and I'm pretty underwhelmed as a result of that.
Played for Southampton last year, scored a couple of nice goals, but apart from that, I don't really know. I've seen a lot of fan people and people in the groups, obviously we're privy to, that are kicking off saying he's a very average footballer, etc., etc. But I'm always of the part of giving an opportunity. We'll see what he's like once he starts playing for us, because you never know. Martin might have had him playing a specific way for his team. Fark might get something else, a completely different tune out of him. So, Jay, what are your thoughts, mate?
At least he knows how to get promoted.
I was just going to say, if he's a bang average player, he's been a bang average player at the top end of the championship for a while.
That's right.
So he knows what he's doing. I think it's a sensible signing, and I think we should get used to sensible signings with the ownership that we've got. We saw it last year with the kind of players they brought in. What I would say is no leak, no information, no ITK, no bullshit. Just got announced 2 hours before Leeds officially showed him off in his shirt.
Even Harry Port Crackling didn't know anything about this or whatever it's called.
Hasn't been mentioned at all over the entire summer. Nothing. So well done for keeping it quiet. What I would say on the player himself is he's 168 appearances in the championship, so he's a decent caliber player for this level, and that's what it is. It's a straight up loan. There's no option to buy in it. There was a rumor that there was an option. According to the club, there's no option in it, so it's a straight loan for a season. He didn't set the world on fire at Southampton last year. He did score a couple of bangers, but he came in halfway through the season and there was an injury in there as well. But I would say is if you look at what Daniel Farke said at the end of the season, Leeds needed more height. They needed more options in midfield. And we were all talking about we're missing a progressive passer in midfield. Joe Rothwell ticks those boxes. He's 29 years of age. He's a vast amount of experience. He's 6'1", and his entire game is around progressive passing and moving forward with the ball. He's not what you'd call a fast player. He's not a defensive-minded player, so he's not a Glenn Kamara or a Groove. But when he gets the ball, he moves it quick. And one of the big things that I spent most of last year banging on about was tempo. And Leeds needing to play at a fast tempo. He takes very few touches on the ball. He moves it very, very quickly. And he scores goals from in and around the edge of the box as well when he does show up with goals. So if you think about last year when Glenn Kamara was picking the ball up on the edge of the box and not shooting, we've now got a player that might actually have a shot now. So he does like to shoot, doesn't always score, but he does like to shot. So I think from that perspective, I think he's a rotational option. I don't think he starts. I think he'll be a bench player. But I think it's an upgrade on what we had on the bench last year, and that was needed as well. And the big piece for me is I think that boxes off the centre midfield now, and Leeds can now move on to other positions.
I'll tell you, that's why we get you on, Joe. You'd never get anything that eloquent out of the rest of us.
No, this is it. You see, this is why it's a little jewel in our crown. You see, getting people like Joe that talks absolute sense and not nonsense like the rest of us. Yeah, but like championships experience, you can't beat that. You know, we brought in players like Connor Roberts and stuff last year who didn't really make much of an impact on the team. However, you know, players like Rothwell certainly will do. You know, that's an absolute given. Whether we see much of him or not, you know, it's definitely a good. Whether it's padding for the squad or not, it's good to have that sort of championship experience. Luke, do you want to have a final say on this before? Hopefully, you got your microphone sorted.
Is it working? Can you hear me?
I think so.
Sounds all right.
Sounds all right. Good. Yeah. No, I think pretty much to echo exactly what Joe says, but just slightly different angle. You've got to look at the players that have gone out, that we've released or sold, and he's better than all of them apart from Archie Gray. So he certainly does pad that midfield out. I think. Same as Joe, I don't think he's coming here to start and play a lot of games. I think he's an alternate option when we need to, as Joe says, progressively move things around a little bit when it's become a bit stagnant in those games where we've struggled to break down a low block and games do become a little bit passive for us. So, no, not bothered. Am I over the moon about it? Absolutely not. But is it the type of player that we probably were missing at times last season? He could well be, and it's only a loan, you know. But we've not spent any money on this player. There's no commitment, and yeah. I'm sure we'll see. Like as you said as well, Smarty. I'll make my own mind up on him when I've seen him play a few times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if I don't want to use him, you know, in any particular role, we've seen it with Anthony and stuff. You know, last Jaden Anthony last season. If you don't make the cut, you aren't going to feature much. You know, it's down to the player to get himself into the team and make himself available for the team. So at the end of the day, you know, good luck to him. But yeah, so we've had so that's technically our second, well, no, third, I suppose, if you're counting Joe Rodon. Joe Rodon, we got through the door. Alex Cairns, chaps, how do we feel about that? Taking over Christopher Clausen.
It's another sensible one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly what it
Homegrown.
says. It's a replacement for.
Is this more of a box ticking exercise, though, really, than some? Yeah, it is.
100%.
It's your Carson at City, isn't it? It's your homegrown player. You've got to have so many on the bench or whatever. So yeah, it's a box ticking exercise with some experience to go to boot. So again, it's not one to get excited about. He's probably not going to play a game all season, but he does tick those boxes, doesn't it? I just wanted to say before we do start, Smart, I did forget to do this earlier on. We've got one of these.
You did ask, actually.
We've got a pin badge from Mr. Punjabi Whites, Chaz Singh at Punjabi Whites, who has, I got some of these sent through, and I've just decided that I'm going to give it to the funniest comment or the best comment in the comments all night tonight. So that's as judged by yours truly. So try and make them a little bit funny, get involved, and if it's shit, I'll tell you.
It's a good job Jay's not in the comments tonight. Then obviously he'd won it, wouldn't it?
Well, that's it.
Mate,
hands down.
He's actually agreed to throw a T-shirt, and I did tweet it earlier, and he said I'll throw a T-shirt as well.
Really?
So there is a pin badge, and a T-shirt to the best comment tonight. I mean, shall we have two prizes? I don't care. We'll see. See what happens. I might make my mind up there.
Let's wait.
You got two decent comments and give it to two separate people. Who knows?
Yeah,
anything can happen.
I might do.
It's Thirsty Thursday. Are you all partaking? I've got a cup of Yorkshire's finest, by the way.
Absolutely.
Joe's probably got something healthy. Oh, I don't know.
No, I don't. Sugar in a glass.
Excellent stuff. Right, so obviously let's have a bit of a recap of who we've lost and who we've gained. So obviously Joe Rodon, Alex Cairns and Rothwell are in. Out, we've got Gray, massive to lose him. Cresswell, Shackleton, Klaassen, Rocker, Lorente, Cooper, Bate, Ayling, Drame and Paveda. And then we've obviously lost Greenwood, JB Perkins and the Rat Harrison out on loan. Would you have kept any of them, or would you? Are you glad to see the back of them? Obviously, not the loanee guys. They've obviously gone for reasons, but the people that have left us permanently. What are your thoughts on any of them?
Only Archie.
Apart from Archie, obviously, I think everyone's pretty upset to lose him, aren't they? But
I don't really care about anyone else.
Yeah, I think we've just got to take a little bit of a step back, and we've got to trust this new management, this new group that owns us, and we've got to have full trust in them. This is the first time they've had a full window with a recruitment team. Just on Rothwell, he didn't even get a pre-season with them last season. So to judge him on that time he had at Saints last sean, or half a season he had at Saints, it would be pointless pretty much. And they play a completely different system to us as well. So we've just got to take a bit of a step back, I think, and just let them trust that they know what they're doing, and we can then obviously judge them off that. There's no point judging it now because we could be right, we could be wrong. We could say that's a shit signing, and it turns out to be absolutely fantastic for us. Or we could say somebody's going to be an absolute belting signing, and it's happened before. Look, we've signed Adrian. When we signed Adrian, everyone thought it was going to be the second coming of Neymar, and we'd sign this absolute legend, and he was absolute dog shit. So yeah, by all means, have your opinions on these players, but if you don't really know much about them, then you're just making yourself look a bit stupid if they turn out to be quite the opposite. So I'm quite calm at the moment. I'm not worried. I'm not in any way concerned as yet. I think we still got some real key positions that we do need to address. And the only thing that really does put a little bit of worry is the succession plan for if we lose one of our big players.
Yeah, but you've hit the nail on the head slightly there by saying trust, and I think that is, given what's been happening at the start of last season and how well I think, personally, that the club performed in the transfer windows, not specifically in the January, but certainly in the summer, to turn around what was an absolute shit show really at the start of last season. Yeah. We've got to trust the club, and for once, I think we all do, don't we? I would trust the club to make the right moves. I mean, obviously, Rothwell might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it's a good championship signing. It's a good, solid signing to get through the door, whether it's padding or whether it's, whatever he's got, in Farke's plans. But, it's a good position to be in at the minute. And like you say, trust is a massive thing for me. Jay, what are your thoughts on the potential signings that we'll make? Do you trust the club to make some good, honest signings?
I'm still upset that they sold Archie, so trust is going to have to be
asking him. He was done with the club last week. He was like, fuck this, fuck that.
I'm
49 is a dead to me.
I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it.
We're cutting his Leeds tattoo off like that.
Reasons, but, I'm not happy about it. They're going to have to earn my trust back. They told us originally it's a 2-year plan, so they're going to have to back themselves to show that that's the case in this transfer window, or they're going to look stupid because that's what they said.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's enough to drive them on a little bit.
My light started flickering then, mate. You must be some sort of something possessed.
Like masquerading.
That's touching a nerve, mate. I'm very upset.
Someone's got power outside. Someone's about to get mugged or something. Joe, what are your thoughts on potential signings? I don't know if you've heard, obviously, any rumours or anything, but, regarding, Luke, like you say, the whole trust thing, where are you in regards to trusting the club and trusting that they'll do the right thing this season?
I try and take the emotion out of that kind of a statement because it's hard, like, to use Jay as an example, it's very hard to trust anybody when you're that emotionally connected to it. And I don't mean that in a bad way, Jay, but, if you love a player and the club sells them, you're going to get annoyed. I was devastated when we got rid of Lee Sharp. I was absolutely crestfallen with that. But when you've got that emotional connection to a player, I get that. But at the same time, it's football, and Leeds will sell players, and they will sell players next year and the year after and the year after and the year after, and some of them will be Leeds lads and some of them won't. I didn't see anyone shedding a tear for Jamie Shackleton. He was a Leeds lad. He's gone out the door. No one gave a shit about Jamie, but Archie, the 18-year-old wonder kid, gets the red carpet after one season. So I think it's ideally you want to be building your future around the likes of Archie Gray, but at the same time, if somebody comes in and offers you ridiculous money and you've got to sell a player, you sell a player. Was there any other offers on the table for any other player? No. So that's
the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah, it is. On the sign and stuff coming in, I do trust them right now, but I do think it's hope more than trust. I think I hope they do the right thing. Yeah. I think that they will. You hope that your hope is then repaid, or your trust from the hope is then repaid by the club. I don't think they've lied to us yet. Anyway, I mean, if you look at Archie Gray, they were asked out straight. Does that mean Archie Gray isn't sold now that Red Bull money is coming in? And he said, can't rule anything out. Trade-offs have to be made. Didn't lie to us. Didn't say Archie is staying here. So the outrage when he left, I thought was a bit much because he pretty much kind of said every player has a price. Pretty much said that. So it was going to happen. But one of the big players was going to go. I think they'll make smart signings. I don't think they'll waste money. So if you go back for exciting signings, I know Rothwell's not an exciting signing, but signing a centre-back from Real Sociedad seemed exciting, and then it ended up being Diego Llorente. Signing a Spanish international from Bayern Munich central midfielder was exciting, and then it was Mark Roca. Signing a German international centre-back who ended up being Robin Koch. Do you know what I mean? Like, all these sounded like exciting signings when we signed them, and it all turned out to be dog shit.
I'm going to trump all of them by signing a midfielder from Juventus.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
What about Barcelona's left back?
Exactly.
He's actually turned out all right.
He has, to be fair.
Well, the left back did eventually, give anyone long enough.
The thing with the Archie one, it hurt me because it were more. I wasn't as upset about relegation until that happened, and it stung more for me. It hit home a bit because we wouldn't have done that had we gone up, and I, for some reason, got this idea in my head: we were all right. We'd sell Somerville and Nanto probably, but that'd be it. We'd be fine. And it was just a bit of a shocker to me because I'd kind of told myself it wasn't going to happen. But the difference with this one is I don't see it as like when Ken Bates sold people, and he would try to pocket a few quid. The 49ers wouldn't sell a player just to pocket a few quid. I truly believe that there will have been a smart business reason behind it. It just hurt, So I do understand it. I do get it. It really upset me.
Sorry, Jay, just run that by me again. You don't think 49ers are in it to make money?
No, I'm saying I don't think they would sell a first-team player just off the cuff to make a few quid. I think that they would do it for a smart business reason to rebuild the team, to maintain the cash flow, the PSR, whatever. I don't think they're doing it purely to make money out of it. They see the money to be made in long-term stuff like challenging at the top of the Premier League, being in the Champions League, and then you've got a £1 billion club that you can sell. That's where the money is for them long-term. It's not in selling a player and try to stick a few quid in your back pocket like Ken Bates would have done.
They have so many investors at such a level who've invested such huge amounts of money that if you sold Archie Gray and divided that 40 million up by the amount of investors down, it's not worth talking about for them.
Get about 18 pence each.
It's nothing. It's
like the racehorses, isn't it? When people own one of the hooves.
Yeah, there's 16 people or 460 people in the consortium that own a horse. What part of the horse do you own? Like one strand of hair on its tail, like, you know what I mean? They don't make any money unless this Leeds project is a success. And Luke, you've said this tons of times on this. They're long term. They have a long game. They will sell Leeds at some point when it's worth selling Leeds at that point, when the investment that everyone else has made is worth paying off. And maybe it is Red Bull who buys it off them at that stage, but you're hoping it's at a point then where it's a large asset. It's in a very strong position. It's sustained in the Premier League. It's got an infrastructure in place that can keep it sustained there. And then it's in a position where only somebody with a huge amount of money could actually even consider taking over the club. So you're not getting a Chilino or a Bates or somebody with a few quid nipping in and wrecking it. Like, it'll have to be a certain level of corporation or company or state or whatever who buys it. So yeah, but I do think there's some mental scarring from the previous ownerships with Leeds fans still. I still think that's, and I think it's right at the forefront of everyone's brain when anything happens, because we could announce anything this week.
PTSD.
We could have announced anything this week, and there's just been getting the stadium back. People have managed to find a negative in the stadium coming back. And I'm just like, oh, they bought that back for Red Bull. Well, they got it in March before Red Bull ever came in.
We're going to ask you about that. It was actually done in March, wasn't it? Why has it only just been announced? It's like Jersey's teacher who comes and we just sit here and ask all our questions. It's like story time with Jer.
I don't know.
We're like Padawans, aren't we, to him?
It's like, why didn't they announce it in March?
He's our Yoda.
I think
can you say the sentences backwards, back to front and stuff? Just to like.
I just talk normal speed. What you want to do? What I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know for a fact, but what I saw was that the final papers came out from Company's House, and as far as I'm aware, that's where the announcement came from. It was Company's House releasing the stuff, and it's not released until then. Actually, see, there you go. I mean, no, we haven't.
What do you think to that comment? Yeah, I know.
Well, no, we didn't, because how do you work that one out? Have we sold them on finance? Have we? Because that was done before the thing. So again, but this is what I mean, and I'm sure Bryn is saying that with tongue in cheek, like, because
he's probably not.
It is.
Oh, it absolutely is. It absolutely is.
Yeah,
it's a wind-up merchant.
That's the PTSD that we've got from all the previous owners. Like, we automatically assume a negative when anything happens. There has to be a reason, and it's never a good reason, And I said something yesterday, like, oh, well, look, they got it in March. Why are they only announcing it now? They're trying to cover off a quiet week. And I went, so what? So what if they are? It's still good news. Leeds finally owns its stadium again for the first time in 20 years. How is that not a good story? How is someone managing to find a negative in that? I saw another guy this morning say, stop putting up the youth contracts. I don't care about the youth contracts. Like, well, you should, because that's the future of your football club.
Absolutely, you should.
But yet they'll care when Finlay Gorman goes to Man City, and there'll be outrage.
Well, yeah, players like most of them will never have seen, ever play, but they heard he was really good.
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
it's crazy this week. It's been mad. Everything's
Someone like
been-
Graham Smith or someone in the know says that he were good and that it's a shame that we've lost them, and everyone start losing their minds.
Yeah.
That's it.
Some
That's
of the was a
exactly it.
generational talent, and that was enough to go. Oh, we sold them for how much? Like a record British fee for a 15-year-old.
And to,
5
Like
million
the
quid
cause,
for a
though, don't
child.
we?
and
Well,
actually,
I mean,
the
there's no
most
guarantee he
expensive
even ends up
18-year-old
being a
Englishman
footballer.
ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I think we're doing smart business. I mean, and look, we've lost arguably probably one of our favourite players of last season, if not probably my favourite player of last season. And he is a generational talent. Was Archie. So to lose him, it's going to work. But then we've got to bear in mind that we're not business. We don't know what happens behind the scenes at a football club. We don't know what stresses were there. What the finances look like for last year because they just simply haven't been released. They've done it for business decisions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Danny's in the comments from another Leeds podcast and it's called Jer the Jerical. The audio listeners. That's
Do you want
quite
some good
apt,
news? Do you want some good news
I like
about
that.
yourself?
Go on then.
That will cheer. And Jay, this will warm your broken Archie Grey heart.
Let's do
Jerry
this.
McDermott, who I know from the west of Ireland, who was involved with Leeds, used to be a scout for Leeds, and is very heavily involved with getting young people across to Leeds and bringing them over here. He sent a message tonight to say
Legally,
under 21 they played the Bradford's first team last night. They lost 3-0, which is not bad considering it's under 21s, young, mostly under 18s. And Harry Gray played 30 minutes in that game. So it's the first time Harry Gray has played for the under 21 side at 15.
We've got to fast track him now.
Jesus.
We need him.
So he's already been.
That's
now
exactly what
in
we're
and
not
around
going
the
to do.
21.
Don't
Might-
fast
that
track
might
him,
change a
Jay.
little bit.
If we want to keep
12
on the
months
at least
and
one
right back.
Start selling your fleet of greys away. We're going to have nothing left.
Is he going to be able to play anywhere on pitch?
Yeah, I'll play right back for the
It's
first
like
6 months
The,
of next
the
season.
next
Yeah, probably.
evolution of Archie can play anywhere.
He's a striker, isn't he, Harry?
Yeah, big guy as well. He's
forward.
touching 6 feet, if not over
Is he?
6 feet at this stage. So a big guy,
15-year-old, yeah.
He
My
can bang
shit,
him in, can't he?
Archie would
He's
know.
banging him in, yeah.
Archie want a short ass like these two on our left. On our left, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't Archie reckoned he was better than him? Wasn't
Right.
Archie said that Harry was better than him?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
Archie said it
That's what
outright.
we're hoping for. And the good thing about getting 40 million for Archie means we can get even more for Harry if he is better.
We don't sell Harry. We'll be in the Premier League.
Yeah,
I
mate.
would
hope
also
so,
say
mate.
this.
I
though,
hope
Harry.
so.
Think positively, Jay.
And it's
Important to
just
give credit
cheap.
credit where it's due here, Jay, is Jerry McDermott told me a year ago when we did the Academy View stream that Harry Gray be one of the top strikers in Europe within the next 10 years. Keep an eye on him. And that was before any of
Now
the
we're
clips start coming. So Jerry knows what he's talking about. So if Jerry says, keep an eye on Harry, keep an eye on Harry. So
Now we're
Yeah.
talking.
I wonder how many
Need to get
more
better
greys
into
that we
play
can
for
grow.
England.
There's another
We
two
need to do some sort of... Is there another two, is there?
Is
in
there?
the younger ages.
can we get
Are they
them to make
still in-
more?
Are they still in the pods being cloned?
Well,
or-
this is what I mean. That's what I'm saying. They need to be cloned and we need to start growing more, just to feed
do,
us
yeah.
constantly over the next few
That's right.
decades.
Mr. Grays.
That's it,
I
yeah.
thought you're getting a few
No
more
wonder
greys
we
out,
just
yeah.
roll another one out.
Outside here.
Oh, Jay.
No, I was talking about you, but you.
Me? Oh, yeah. Oh, Christ, yeah, mate. Jesus wept. I'll be,
Hard
I'll
life,
be, I'll,
isn't he? Living in his
I'll be like a
van
bloody,
and
I'll be like a roll-on like you two soon.
going on holiday every
I
week.
lost it all.
Roll on.
Look like a little deodorant
I've
roll
got a
on.
perfect Craig David airline. I don't know what you're on about.
Yeah. Yeah. In other news, then, apparently we've blocked a move for Firpo to join the Olympics, so the Dominican Olympic squad. What are your thoughts on that one? I didn't even know, obviously, that that sort of thing still went on. To be fair, we don't have an English one. Obviously, it's Great British, but other frigging who do we put in ours?
You didn't put a team in.
Do we not? I mean, what's the bloody point?
We've done that
Line them off
before,
of-
though, haven't we? In the Olympics.
We have
You
to
did it when I
believe
was in the UK. You had a
Yeah.
Great Britain team in Liverpool.
Yeah,
But
there were a
never,
few people
ever
knocking
any
it
other
out, weren't
time. Because all the
Dominic
other
Solanke was up front in that
associations
team,
get worried
wasn't he?
about it.
Jesus,
Didn't Lewis Cook play?
I think he might have.
Can't remember.
could have done.
He'd be around the same
They've
age
got
as
under 21,
Solanke,
aren't
wouldn't
they?
he? Yeah, under 23.
Under 23, is it?
And then you're allowed 3 overage players.
I mean, I dread to think. I mean, obviously, we've been subjected to a lot of international football over the last few weeks. I needed a manscape. Yeah, it's all right down there, mate. It's just up here it's going grey. Yeah, so the international scene's been touch and go. I'll get your thoughts on that. Sorry, Joe, you might have to just speak about England for a teeny tiny while.
I'm all right with that. I'm okay.
But the Dominican Republic, come on.
Does that Firpo news suggest to you that either was because there was noise about selling him? Now I think this news now suggests he's staying more than actually going, because we'd probably just say, yeah, if we've got no plans for him, we'll get you replaced. If we think we're going to sell you anyway, do what you need to do with the Dominican. Do you know what I mean? Whereas actually rejecting that from the Dominican suggests to me that he's part of the first team plans. He's going to be playing this season, and he's already probably in training. So, yeah, I think he's staying.
Or it could mean that they don't want him to get injured because they want to sell him.
No, I don't think so. I think he plays. I think
he's staying. I think he's staying.
Such a gambling.
Honestly, he's such a pessimist. Honestly,
someone's got to bring the colour. You guys,
that's right.
You're on the happy train. You know.
You're absolutely right. Someone needs to prop us up, don't they? That's it, exactly. You're the yin to our yang and all that sort of stuff. But Jesus Christ, have a bit of bloody joy in your life, James Christ. So I'm going to touch on the England game last night. How are we all feeling then? Obviously, sorry, Joe, you're not there. Unless you support Ireland, unless you support Italy or anything. I don't know if you've got like a distant relative that might play for someone. Have you got any Spanish relatives or anything?
No, I have English relatives.
Gonna have to sit that one out then. What are your thoughts on the game last night then? In fact, Joe, what are your thoughts on the England team and how do you think they're going to fare going into the final?
I think I said in Joe's show that I thought that England would win it because I think if you look at the crop of players that they have an incredibly talented group of players, the depth of quality is in that team as well. And then you look at the players they left at home and there's depth there as well. I think up until yesterday, they've stanked the joint out completely. I think themselves and France would have been the worst final you could have possibly got from a footballing perspective because both of them were just negative football. But I think the early goal against England did them a favour last night, and you got to see what England are actually capable of doing when they actually play. And I thought it was an excellent game. I thought they played some lovely football. I thought it was they were excellent. They were excellent, and deserved to win it. And the way they win it, they won it as well. But you hope they played at that in the final. But you just don't want a stinky win. And I know you guys would take a stinky win, but I just think it's a waste of a crop of players that's there. I really do think an exciting style of play would suit those players, and they would really, really put numbers on people. But if you win it, you win it.
Bielsa.
It's going to be a tough game, that final.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Absolutely. It'll be a backs against the wall type of game for us, I think. Certainly.
Spain, the only team to ever win 6 in a row at Euros. Yeah.
Southgate will love it. He'll have a reason to be defensive.
Oh, God.
He'll park the bus, won't he? At least for the first 20 minutes, he'll park the bus.
Yeah. We'll have Harry Kane in his own.
But man for man, for me, I think. I mean, other than probably the defense, I think we pretty much match him. I think we match up almost. Man for man.
Hang on. Snap the 16-year-old and leave a mark on him. Jobs are good. And crack on.
Arthur Bushby, come on now. Saying sacked Farker should be gone as well, I guess. Come on, Arthur. Come on.
Jay's friend. Is he one of your friends?
Him and Jay just stroking each other's lap outside the chippy after a game. Yeah. Just deciding whether they're going to have curry sauce or mushy peas.
We've got their own little negative group chat. It could be a lot worse, you know. Yeah, I wish it were. I wish it were a lot worse.
I wish it were really worse.
Hey,
really bad.
We're going up as fucking champions, mate. I'm optimistic.
Oh, God. I hope you're right.
Don't worry about that.
I hope you're right, and only time will tell. But the whole, a lot of people are mentioning Bielsa, and I've seen a lot of people talk about Bielsa. I don't know if you guys have been watching the Copa America as well, but after seeing Bielsa's team, and teams, and looking at Uruguay and the way they play as well, having to watch bloody England's a friggin' hard. Honestly, it's hard work. It's really hard work. I have the heaviest eyelids across West Yorkshire, I'm sure. How
much of the England game have you watched? Of England's games in the tournament so far, how much have you watched over the top of your phone? Like, how much of it have you watched by doing
90%?
Oh, a lot.
Other than
a lot.
Yeah.
The other 5% I haven't, and the other 5% I've watched. I was asleep for some of it. In fact, the quarterfinal, I think I was asleep for a good half of it, I think.
first half.
I haven't
I
slept.
just-
I haven't slept.
I just can't. I mean, I'm watching it on my sofa. I've been busy at work as well, so I'm absolutely knackered. And it's just like,
Oh, you all right, hon?
oh God, I just can't do it.
You all right?
The matchsticks aren't strong enough to keep my frigging eyelids open.
It's been bad, hasn't it? It's been bad. It's just
So
so
shit.
frustrating. Like Joe says, with that crop of players, they could do anything. An attacking system that could tear teams apart. And you've
Imagine
got this
Bielsa
guy.
being England manager.
Oh, I'd love it.
That's
You've got this
scary.
guy. He goes 1-0 up against Italy in a final and decides to go defensive. I mean, who does
That's
that?
what Italy do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it didn't work, did it?
Fair play, bro. Yeah.
we were all over him at the time, and if we'd carried on as we were, we'd have scored again. And it's just like we get into these games, and he doesn't want to be adventurous. You've got this turgid bloody system where nothing's happening for the majority of the game. It's just it winds me up. We've got so much talent. We could do so much.
How mad was it last night though? When everyone, I've seen a few tweets today. Everyone's like, "What the fuck's he doing bringing Ollie Watkins on over Ivan Toney?
Oh yeah,
What the fuck? What's Watkins coming on for?"
Yeah,
and then he
yeah.
belts that
I know that.
fucking beauty in with the Titanic music over the top, and everyone just goes
Fucking
wild.
great. I enjoyed that.
Great finish.
It was
Yeah,
great
that-
to score at the end like that. It was just amazing.
I don't know. I mean, I remember obviously people used to argue over the fact that Ollie Watkins and Patrick Bamford, people used to pick Patrick Bamford and stuff like that. Now, you know, Ollie Watkins is clear, obviously, over Patrick Bamford, but, you know, I don't mind. I mean, I expected Kane to get, you know, taken off or whatever, but to be honest, if I were given the choice over Tony and Watkins, I wouldn't really been asked for either, to be honest. At 90 minutes, I thought that
I
were
wouldn't
it.
have cared
You know,
which one.
I'd have probably picked Tony just because, you know, if we were going to penalties or whatever, I'd have loved to have seen another one of his not no-look penalties, but he's one of his death stare downs
That was
again.
great,
'Cause
that.
was just,
Enjoyed that.
that was just epic, wasn't it? But you know, here's what it is. Right, I think I've had enough talking about England. I'm bored already. We have a new head of medical, Joe. What happened to our old medical person?
Went to Derby. Off he went to
Why?
do the same job at Derby, which isn't a promotion.
Did he take any bits with him? Did he taking like Forshaw's ligaments or out like that with him? Did he get searched before he left the premises?
Souvenirs. He's got a bit of Dallas's top of the Dallas's femur. He's got Luke Ayling's pride. He's got little bits of everyone stuck in a box that he brings with him around the club.
That's golden case.
Jesus
Is
Christ.
it Henry
Butcher
McStay, the new
Beast.
guy?
The new guy, he's been at the club for a while. He's been there since 2012, I think, and he was
Oh, is he really?
academy physio, and then he played for the club as well. He was a reserve team player for the team back in 2005, I think, or up till 2005. Played centre back, so knows the place well. Apparently, very well liked behind the scenes by a lot of people. He's
That's good then.
yeah,
He's good at
Seems
sorting
like
players
I
back
hope he-
together, is he?
I hope he puts
Please
people
look
back
like-
together quicker than Rob Price.
doesn't take him
Yeah.
apart as quickly as Rob Price.
Yeah. Rob Price were probably one of them like nutty sort of scientists that used to chop people up and like.
Yeah.
There's probably a load of unanswered murders around Leeds. I shouldn't be saying essentially.
That's what I was saying. He's the butcher of beasts.
Chopping up people and using bits and pieces from
Harvesting components of
That's
people's
it.
bodies.
Yeah, you'll do.
Putting all the bits back on Liam Cooper. We can repair him. We have the power. We can rebuild him. Out you go.
That must be what
Give
happened.
them.
That must be what happened at half time at Palace. He put wrong legs on wrong player.
Absolutely, so much. Do you think we'll see Cooper again next year, or do you think that's it done and dusted?
Gone.
I think the longer it goes on without him signing a deal for somebody, the possibility that he might just pick up the 1 year contract from Leeds pops back on the radar. But he's got offers with the clubs, holding Blackburn apparently, though Blackburn seem to be looking at other options. He wants a 2 year deal apparently, but Leeds obviously only offers him 1 year. But I don't know. The longer he goes without a club, that's still sitting there.
I'd love it if he went to Hull
Right.
because my Hull supporting friends said, "Oh, we don't need him. We've got Greaves."
Sabotage.
Greaves is off
probably
to Ipswich, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you see that thing about Philigene's agent? Is it Philogene? Have I said that right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you have it.
But we're not
Barca
going
went-
to this bit a little bit later
Why?
with Bren's part.
Bren's part.
Is he, what goes on now, Jay? Has it been that long? Since he's been on a pod?
I think he's had a lobotomy.
What are you on about?
Fucking hell.
I think he has forgotten, hasn't he? This bit.
Enlighten me.
Has got a shit tick this week, my little spat of fact.
You forget about that.
What the fuck you on about? I ain't got to that bit yet. I'm still going down stuff that just popped into my head. Oh, did you see that thing about Philogene going to Barcelona? His agent going to Barcelona.
Oh, you mean the bit that's my shit take of the week bit?
I didn't know that's a shit take of the week. I didn't know.
You've stumped the whole show.
I've completely fucked you over there, haven't I, mate?
The place out. I've been here for weeks. I had a couple of months off, and he stunk the gaff out.
I'm sorry. Go on then. Give us your shit take of the week then. We'll do that.
You've done it for me now.
Go on then. Take it away.
No, you've spoiled. You've had my moment.
How was it a shit take of the week then?
Because it's. Do you not think that's a shit take turning up at a?
Absolutely, but is it a shit take? Would it qualify as a shit take? Does it? He's just a fucking idiot turning up.
Clearly not anymore.
Some dickhead turning up outside a training ground or whatever it is with a briefcase and some penis fucking taking photographs on it for the gram. Hey, look at me, I'm outside Barcelona, and then getting turfed out by security. I said that was a shit take. But, hey, who am I to decide?
It would have been better if you'd got a tour. I haven't, mate, because I didn't even know we were doing it yet, because this has all gone discombobulated.
So you've just given me some right shit for spoiling Luke's shit take of the week.
Actually,
saying I haven't been fucking here, there, and everywhere, and you haven't even got one.
Absolutely. We don't always all have one, so it's okay.
Joe.
Yeah.
Your time has come, my friend. Apparently, you may have a shit week. I've had a shit week. I haven't even shit one. No. Shit take of the week or two.
Back to Yoda. Yeah, the guy that said that Leeds had bought Elland Road to give it to Red Bull.
Oh, God.
That's shit take of the week. The overreaction to everything on Twitter. Yeah.
Why?
First comment on it was, so we just bought it back to give it to Red Bull then. And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Why are we so scared? I mean, I understand it. We've been burnt a lot throughout our history. I completely get it. But why would that automatically? Why would the first thought that came into your head that this positive news, this bit of positive news that's been great, actually we've done it to appease somebody else? Do you know what I mean? But why? What sort of? Where's people's train of thought? Like Jay, I'll probably come to you because you're probably quite similar to this person in terms of the way you think. How do you think like this? And how do you get by day to day without having to get somebody to wipe your own ass?
How do you get by day to day without being knocked out or run over?
That's happened a few times, both.
Does it himself sometimes. He can't help it.
You fucking tosser.
But I just don't fully understand how people's thought process gets them, that how they get A and B and end up right like X, Y, or Z or something, and completely out of the picture, and then have the cheek to say that they're right all the time, and because they repeat themselves and a little bit louder and say it a few more times, then they automatically it gives them the right to think that it's correct, and I just don't understand it.
I think they already have an idea in their head, like they think that this is going to happen, so anything that goes on in between, they just decide fits this narrative, and they find a way to spin it. And I think that's just it. I don't know why they have this idea that X is going to happen, but some people just do. I don't know how anyone can support a club that some people appear to dislike as much as they do. And that's what I can't get my head around. There are certain people, and it's not the majority, it's the vocal minority of people, especially on Twitter, who find fault in everything that the club does. I like to try and assume that the club that I love and I want to support and I want to see do well will do well at some point, and I want to try and find the silver lining in the cloud. But you've got some people there who, every bit of good news that comes out, they immediately look for the backside of it, of where's the shadow, what's wrong with this, why is this happening, what's the negative, what they're covering up.
They just rebelize it, and it's mad. Like, I mean,
yeah,
always
sweeping under the carpet.
Yeah, what you said is right. We are season. Chilino's enough to season anybody with doubt. Ken Bates before him as well. GFH. I mean, Jesus Christ, there's a trifecta of absolute nut jobs running a football club. So I understand that to a degree. And then you've Ridsdale before them with broken promises and everything else and ruining the club. So I get it to a degree. But at some point, you've got to try and find some joy in supporting Leeds United and try and find something. And I always do try and find something positive. When it's really bad, I'll say it's bad. But if I don't know if it doesn't look like it's going to be bad, we'll just wait and see what happens. Park the reaction for a second. But again, the reaction to the U player contracts going up, well, that's bullshit. That's just to cover the fact that we're not signing players. The Red Bull, we bought a stadium to give it to Red Bull. We signed Rothwell. Also, we're selling Kamara then. You're like, Jesus, take a day off. Just take a minute and take a day off from it, because everything can't be a conspiracy. That's the problem with conspiracy theorists. They think everything is a conspiracy. Not everything can be. Some, yeah, but not all of it. You know, some of it is just what it is, and that's it. But I don't know how if I thought the way some people think about Leeds, I would just stop supporting Leeds and not support football or pick a different club. I had a guy last year who told me that if we blow the playoffs, he's going to support Chelsea. And I went, of all the clubs you could pick as a Leeds fan to swap allegiances to, go now. Don't wait till the playoffs happen. Go now. Just if that's where your head is at and it's Chelsea, off you pop. Go now. But these people are out there and they're vocal and they're talking about it. And you're like, why are you supporting this football club? You clearly don't like this football club.
Yeah, I can't wait for something negative to happen. It's just that's it. They're there.
Yeah,
and then I told you so. Told you so. She told you so. That's so. You would rather be right than your club be good. And I'd rather be wrong.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that.
It's like bloody. I mean, Gilly. I mean, I'm not calling out Gilly here for forever, but he said right from the start of the season, we won't go up. We'll do this. We'll finish outside playoffs on all sorts of stuff he were coming out with. And I just think, sometimes it's just nice to have that little tiny bit of hope. I think, notoriously Leeds United and their fans, our fans, are notoriously fragile. Look at Jay. Jay's a perfect example. He's fragile.
Cheers,
but we, like you say, we are on the whole, I think, quite positive. But you've just got these little pockets in the fan base, largely on Twitter and other social media bits and pieces, that are so pessimistic and just love to moan, like you said. But I think a lot of it's just down to how you are as a person. And I've said this before on here: if you're quite a pessimistic, sort of miserable sort of person, then you're gonna have them sort of thoughts. You're gonna be thinking that way, and that you can't help them sort of people. You just block and move on.
You can't help them sort of people.
You can't help it, can you? If someone's a miserable sod, then they're always going to be a miserable sod.
You're beyond help, Jay, that's it. You're
beyond.
I'm optimistic, mate. I said we're going up.
That doesn't mean you're optimistic. I've heard the other 99% of the stuff you said.
We're going up.
Whatever.
Honestly,
whatever.
we should document Jay's mood swings more over the course of the season. In fact, I might do actually. First, I'll be like, going up as champions. Oh, we've fussed it. We've blown it.
I swear he's been on.
We can have the J-ometer.
I swear he's been on clinical trials.
Where am I on the J-ometer this week? We'll keep a track of it. Gilly can make a graph.
I swear you've been on clinical trials for like women's period medication or something. Because one day you can be the happiest man on planet and everything's so good, and then the next minute, man, fucking hell, like something so minute and little can just trigger you, mate, can't it? You can. That's
the menopause. Are you having a menopause, Jay?
Mate, I am Mr. Positive now. I'm ready to go. Don't you worry. I'm happy. Things are looking up.
This is also true.
In the last couple of years, I was like in the doldrums, but I'm all good now.
Mate, honestly, you've dipped your toe more times than I care to even think about being positive, Jay. I think you once even called yourself. Then you were down in the doldrums, and then oh no, it's all right, everything's fine, I'm happy again, and then fucking hell.
Don't know what you mean.
What does Jay need to go up to? About 5'6"?
Oof.
Fucking hell, yours must go to 5'7" then.
Well, he is an inch taller than you. Luke loves to challenge them on Twitter. That is true. That's true. You have been called a happy clapper. Happy clapper once or twice in your life. I nearly said something else then. Yeah. I'm gonna fire through some of these starred comments. I don't know who's been starring them, but thank you very much. Donny Talks Sport says, Scooby, he's a number 8, played 16 times for Saints since January last year, started 4 games out of them 16 and scored 4 goals. I think he's talking about Rothwell. I think you've started something else, haven't you, about that? Oh, one of you started this from Telly Halkias. Apologies if I've got your name wrong. My Blackburn mate texted me about Rothwell. That's your lot promoted. Hated seeing Joe go. We'll add more to Leeds than you realise now. Hopefully.
Let's see.
Absolutely. I'm all for it. See, hopefully, I hope to God that all these, these negative Nigels that are out there are proven wrong. We all, cast your mind back a few seasons. Every single person, what's he said? I'm trying to make a serious point, and then there's Ian Ward saying Gareth Southgate is a miracle worker. My mother's walked in 10 years, but he made her want to switch over the TV. That's great.
And that is the winner. Well done. You got your badge.
Congratulations, Ian.
Drop us a message on Twitter and we'll get that badge out to you, because that's a class comment.
You can give that badge to your mum.
Oh, God. I've lost my train of thought now. I don't even know what I was saying. Arthur Bushby, German police. German police saying Leeds United to bring too many over the causeway. Hold on. Has she got a cane? She could stick it on that. You used to do that back in the day, didn't they? You know, your little badges, and you used to put them on your little canes and shit.
They used to have on walking sticks.
And go
I
next
thought
to
you
a
meant for
Snowden.
changing the TV channel, just poke the TV with the stick.
Like an extension.
I remember as a kid using a snooker cue to do the TV.
I was the remote as a kid.
Yeah. I've got to really try hard to not start coming out with some Irish Tourette's here, as Carl likes to call it. What I would say does strengthen us, yes, and let's get it on. Yeah, absolutely, totally agree.
Move on, next one. Yeah.
Herbert, ever the Leeds hating bastard. Who's starring
Any of
these?
us. Could be any of us.
starring these? Becky says Junior isn't off to the Olympics. Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm reading out birthday greetings and shit. People should start writing us birthday cards and stuff. And Thomas's birthday today. His mum and dad
With a little picture of him coming out of an egg, hatching out of an egg.
yeah, that's it. God, that's
Happy birthday to Margaret, who turns 50 this Saturday, and from her son Billy.
Who says Daniel Farker is a wanker, and she'll stand on a plug. Not another Leeds podcast. Jay has a voodoo Guy Fawkes in his wardrobe with a 49ers jersey on full of pins. Yeah,
keeping him honest.
Everything we lose, he hugs it.
I'm holding him accountable.
We've all got
Them
one.
same owners are taking us up next season.
Oh,
This
yeah.
season, by the way.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's because I'm keeping him accountable.
Congratulations to Ian. That's today's winning comment. Apparently, you get your little self a Punjabi Whites badge. There you go. Congratulations.
Fighting in a jar.
I mean, if you didn't win the badge, you can get him on his website. I think that's where I got him from, anyway. So yeah, you can get him on his website.
Oh, good. Spread the love. Spread the love. Away fans priced the cap at £30 this season. Now, I mean, I don't know about you lads, but I quite enjoyed the reciprocal pricing arguments that we constantly had on throughout the season. Jay, what are your thoughts on the £30 cap at Elland Road?
Oh, I'm same as you, mate. I enjoyed the arguments because it was like thick people making themselves known and shouting about it because they didn't understand what reciprocal meant. We're not going to get that anymore, but it's now just going to be our fans kicking off that we're being charged £50 to go to Blackburn or something instead. So it's just going to be one thing replaced by another, but it'll be us lot arguing instead.
See, like you say, I liked engaging, should we say, with the opposition fans around the subject
in a respectful manner,
in winding them up, etc. But yeah, hopefully, it's not just a one-up for the other clubs to go right. You've capped ours.
That's
but we
the
don't.
worry.
You know, it's like because you know the damn well that we'll sell out our allocations every single game. You know, the same.
Even if there was £60, we would.
So you know, it's one of them. Luke, are you planning on going to many away games this year? What do you think about the 30 quid Scapparoonie?
I can't help but I think it's a great stand. I think it's a great starting point, a great stance to take as a club. Because I think if we can encourage, if we can be the founders of this 30 quid cap and everyone goes for it and like in the Premier League, then that'd be fantastic. But I can't help but think, and this is me being skeptical, that we are going to get burnt. There's going to be clubs that are just going to laugh in his faces. Chef Wednesday, for one, will definitely not drop their prices.
Huddersfield would take piss if they were still there to do it.
They're not. But yeah,
no, I'm saying they would though.
In fact, though, Huddersfield did drop theirs to 20 last season after a lot of fan pressure.
Only after that guy got told they were an idiot on Twitter by about 6
Kevin Nagel. Was it Kevin Nagel?
I still watch his videos now and then.
Joseph Fritzl.
Are they not playing the Premier League next year? Did he not say that they were a big club in Huddersfield? What happened there?
They've
he said it's only a matter of time, didn't he? It's only a matter of time.
Then he went straight down. He went the wrong way.
Got relegated.
But just going down as Wrexham go up, and they'll be like, "Shit, man."
Just going back to the tickets, I can't help but think the reciprocal pricing offer was more balanced and fair from the club. It might have been a little bit more administration, I suppose, and the conversations we've got to have and the flat fees just much easier to manage. But reciprocal, it made it obvious who thought about which clubs sort of felt a little bit for their fans travelling now our miles and hours and stuff as well. So it's great that we've taken that stance, I think, but I almost think it could be a bit of an own goal.
We'll see, I guess.
I am inclined to agree. I think it's kind of a bargaining chip, having that reciprocal pricing. You do it for us and we'll do it for you. Right now, it's like literally, bend over and touch your toes, because you know damn well that they probably won't do. Jay, what are your thoughts on the £30 cap for our away fans?
Jay or Jer?
It was saying you,
Jay.
but he said it really badly, and I nearly responded.
Jay.
I don't normally call JJ. It's usually something a lot more offensive. So
That's
sorry.
true.
That's
That's true.
I think £30 is a reasonable amount of money to pay to go and see a football match. I think what Leeds are charging for home tickets is a bit excessive, but I also agree. Well, not agree. I also understand the point of it's revenue, and we're in a PSR world, so it doesn't matter how much money the club has. We can't spend it unless it's revenue. So we have to bring in more money if you want to go up and all that stuff. So I don't like it, but I understand it from a business perspective. But I like the fact that 30 quid is there. It means that we'll probably have a bigger allocation of away fans turn up at Elland Road, which should create a slightly better atmosphere from that part of the ground, which is always good. It's always nice when it's a fighty atmosphere in Elland Road. So yeah, I'm okay with that. I agree. I don't think any of the other clubs will match this, but it just makes them look bad, and I'm okay with that. Like, there's a bit of this of we'll take the moral high ground on this. Yeah, we'll probably get done from behind by the rest of them with their pricing, but for what it is right now, we take the moral high ground. We've done the right thing. We've made football affordable for your fans. Will you do the same thing? They probably won't, but then that just makes them look bad, So, but I wouldn't expect any favours of any of the clubs in the Championship. We're the meal ticket. We've been the meal ticket for a long time.
Well, that's it, yeah. Dr. Costa's got a question. He says, guys, what is your take on the memberships?
I have one and have had it for donkey's years. 60 quid this year, which is a bit pricey. I don't remember paying that when I got it initially. It was much less than that, but they were the League One days when I could get 4 tickets and I could go over whenever I wanted to see a game.
Didn't it used to be like 35 quid?
It was nothing. Wasn't, and you got a half decent thing for it, and you got your discount in the online store, and if you went in physically, you got a discount. There was lots of perks to it. The current ones are here's a digital, and I like collecting the cards as well, having them. And this year, here's a digital card for your phone, and you get nothing. And but don't worry if you get if you manage to get 9 tickets this season, you'll qualify for a playoff ticket if that happens. But you'll be lucky if you can even get into the queue, even with a membership. So pay your 60 quid to get in the queue, where you won't actually get a ticket at the end of it. So look, I do it because it's money that goes into the club, and it's my way from a broad perspective of supporting Leeds in a way of kind of going, well, they pay my 60 quid every year. But yeah, I think they could do better with that. There's really no incentive to have the membership now.
I think that for me, the question's probably more around it being uncapped, because we expected to be some sort of capping on these memberships. I don't know how many memberships we've currently got, but I mean, the club is never going to cap the memberships, because whilst anyone's paying 60 quid a year, they've got 60 quid guaranteed coming in. But the fact that we have only got 37,500 or whatever it is stadium, and we've got 22,000 season ticket holders. You've got 3,000 away fans in there as well, so that makes 25. So you've realistically only got 10,000 seats going up for sale every week, between 10 and 12,000. I guess that's using estimates.
I've got an idea about this.
You've also
got an idea about this. What if they divided memberships up so that you're in groups, and each group is eligible one game, the next group's eligible next game.
Yeah.
So you won't get to go every game, but you're competing with a much smaller pool of people. So you might actually get to a game. So they could categorize you into whichever group, A, B, C, D.
As well, so someone kept back for the ballot system. So they've already got. So if you aren't successful, then you go into the ballot anyway.
Yeah, and then if you're in that group, you can go for those tickets. Much smaller pool of people, more chance of getting one. Next game, the next group gets their shot. Next game, next group gets their shot. They could rotate it like that. They could have a system like that where people would get a chance to get a ticket. And if you got to one game in 4 or 5, a lot of people would probably be quite happy with that, because it'd be more than they're getting now.
But then you'd also have people who still manage to get a ticket for every game who still want to go to every game as well. So I mean, you're never going to please everyone, Jay, ultimately, I don't think. And if the question was sorry, I forgot to ask the question. Was it Dr. Cox, I think?
Yeah.
The realism is that they're never going to cap the membership, so it is what it is, man.
It's free money, isn't it? It's
exactly.
Uncapped. It's uncapped free cap, and then you also add into that as well. And I'm on this list. I'm on the waiting list for a season ticket. So that's 11 quid that you pay to be in the queue, to be on a waiting list. So that's every year. And there's what? Remember, to be like 22,000 people on the waiting list.
No, you pay every year. It's a one-off.
Oh, is it a one-off? Okay, well that's fair enough. But then
I don't know.
you're
You've
still
been
getting
paying, but it's not Leeds.
It's not
There's
dodgy
200
offshore
supposed to be-
PayPal, is it, or something?
Right.
It's Wayne money's
I don't
done
know.
him.
There's 22,000 people in the queue or in the waiting list, something like that. 20,000 people in the waiting list for a season ticket, roughly. Apparently, at the moment, at 11 quid ahead is about £240,000 of free money just for being in a queue from an admin fee perspective. So, I mean, that's free money as well. So, Luke's dead right. It brings in money. Why would you put a cap on that? And if people are still willing to renew every year, if the numbers aren't coming down, why would you get rid of it? My issue is that sometimes I think the right thing should be done. They should look at it and go, well, actually, what are these people getting? Because I'm in Ireland, and the issue with being in Ireland is I don't even get LUTV. Like, I can't watch the games because they don't allow the games to be screened inside the UK and Ireland. Now, I'd love to point out to people that there's an actual sea between the two countries and that we don't actually affect the attendance at Elland Road over here. There's a Ryanair flight and an Aer Lingus flight that go over every week full of Irish fans. But if they weren't there, somebody else would be there. So we're not impacting this. The initial thing was we can't show the games in Ireland because if we do that, then we potentially lose the crowd that comes over for those games, which won't happen.
No.
So it's blocked in the UK and Ireland. So I'm in a foreign country that is, I can't get to Elland Road every week because it's a cost to get there now. And I can't watch it on LUTV, even though I've got a membership, which allows me to have LUTV, but I'm blocked from watching that. So even that part of it, where's the incentive for me to take this at every season? I do it because
you get some nice socks that play a good song though now and then.
I tell you one thing though, that is a positive. That coffee cup last year is like a furnace. Like I've had coffee in that for an hour and it's still been boiling coming out of it. It's a great cup. It's a really, really good cup.
It makes
the
it all
box doesn't play
worthwhile.
music anymore. Oh, 60 quid for a mug. Yeah, for a mug.
Us poor season ticket holders don't get anything like any nice cups or fancy things like that.
Get a season ticket. What more do you want? You have to go every week. Get your own seat.
Joe Bedford, I'm not sure what stick you're talking about here, but I'm pretty sure Joe hasn't got a dodgy stick. I think it's in good health, as far as I'm aware.
I don't use VPNs or anything. I have no idea what you're
talking about. That stick. Sorry.
Totally gone over his head that he missed you completely.
The video wireless.
The wireless radio, the video radio.
I'm just an entitled season ticket holder. When I mean, obviously, I used to like getting the cards. I mean, obviously, you know, the little cards you used to stick in your wallet. And you used to get a bit of the obviously the centenary year. You got a nice little display case with a few bits and stuff. You know, we're all right. But now it's just a digital thing. You get nothing apart from my seat, obviously. You know, blah blah blah. But yeah, you know,
it's not even a fancy digital ticket. It's just yellow.
It's crap. It's crap. Well, I can show you it. It's just like literally that's all I've got. Oh no, it's gone. It's disappeared. Well, that's that.
It's a yellow square.
That's gone. It's gone. I'm waiting for my next one. I ain't got that one yet.
In this conversation.
Jesus Christ. Oh, wow. So yeah, but it's just I just find it incredible that there's that many people that are actually waiting.
That's your digital membership. You can't really see it there because of the green screen, but it's shit. Oh, yeah. That's it. The picture with Leeds United on it. That's it. Yellow.
I've got nothing. I've got a Tesco club card in my wallet about now, and that's pretty much it. I think. You know.
Anyway. More for that as well.
That's the regular match ticket one. That's the match ticket.
Same as that. Yeah, it's the same as that.
Yeah. But it's,
I used to collect and program my match ticket, my memberships, and have them all. You know, and now there's nothing to collect. So
I still do collect programs.
I once got a Leeds United harmonica.
A what?
That was great. A harmonica. It said Leeds United on the top. I had to go. Wouldn't have sounded right.
He'll blow an out, will Jay? Won't he? Blow out.
Exactly, you know me. And there were badges like an Elland Road street sign.
Reading Gums Murphy down there.
There was another couple of badges, but I can't remember what they were now. But you used to get just really cool little trinkets, and you don't get anything now. I used to feel special.
You are special.
Thank you.
Speaking of special, our friend Lee Fryer at Andy's Man Club has asked me to say a few things about what they're up to this month. So on the running club every Wednesday evening from 6:15 to 6:30 start, meet at the Round A Fox at Princes Avenue. I suppose it's an excuse to get in shape. I mean, it's not like myself and Gilly, who are two fat lads who got in shape for the Leeds 10K. Maybe not quite that much, but, you know, if you fancy... In fact, you could go, Jay. You like the stuff like that, don't you? You like getting out and about on an evening?
Now and again, yeah. Now and again.
The usual pool night, Friday 19th at the Northern Snooker Centre at Kirksall Road, 6:30 till 8:30 tables, 17 and 18 upstairs. They ask if you can make a slight donation, if you will do, I think it's just to contribute to the cost of the evening. The Walk and Talk at the Barbers Club to be confirmed. Keep your eye on obviously the Andy's Man Club socials, etc. And then the usual Monday nights, where your local facilities and your local centres. Lads, get yourself down there. It's good to talk. We've always been an advocate for Andy's Man Club and for mental health, and it's huge, especially now. Leeds United, we'll love them or hate them, but they'll bring a lot of people together. And now in the off season and stuff like that, if you need to go down and speak to someone, if you need to spend a little bit of time with some other like-minded blokes, get yourself down to one of these centres or go to one of these events. You won't regret it. And everyone that goes there, they're exactly the same situation, and the facilitators are great lads as well. You will not be disappointed. Go for a brew or a beer.
I'd just like to say, I think I went a bit early on the badge talk. There's some belters coming since then. Is that a Leeds United iron behind you, Jay?
No, it's just a regular one.
Has it ever moved? Do you ever use it?
I used it the other day. There's a little ironing board next to it.
On his forehead.
Yeah. Well, I've got an ironing board that's proportionate.
It's a little mini one.
It's a little tiny one.
Hotel one, isn't it? Little hotel ironing board.
Fucking Barbie doll one. Polly Pocket fucking ironing board.
My proportionate ironing board. It's a full-size iron, though.
Fantastic.
Have you got any more comments,
class.
Luke? Have you flying through any more worthy?
The other one was Jay got a Jim fixing bag, apparently.
Well, I did meet him. Told you,
No.
I told the story before.
You haven't?
What?
Yeah, I have. I met him. I met him at. I was about probably.
That explains a lot.
10 or 11, so it's a good job that I didn't get accosted. But yeah, he was power walking round Roundy Park, around the lake. He had like a red shell suit on and some yellow sunglasses, like he thought he read Good Davids.
You were that ugly? He would touch you.
Pretty much, mate. Yeah, but it's a blessing now, isn't it?
The proper ugly kid like face. Yeah, that's how we digress. Probably not really a laughing point either, is it? Let's be honest.
Not really.
Hitting a nerve. Anyway, I'm going to bring this evening to a close. Unless any of you guys have got anything else to add, we've rattled on for an hour now, probably a little bit longer than we should have done. But you know what we're like once we get going.
Bielsa versus Marsh in the third place.
Yeah,
Bielsa versus
I will watch that.
I don't want to see this now because now there's a possibility that he wins.
God, yeah.
And I don't want that to happen.
And our whole belief
Can you imagine
system
that
fall
world where that
apart.
happened?
Oh no! Can you imagine if Marsh somehow, by a miracle, beats Bielsa? All
And
the
then
dickheads
comes out and says,
say,
"I didn't
we should have
overtrain
stuck
the
with
players,
Marsh.
that's
He could have saved us. He'd have kept us up." Bullshit will come out straight out of the wash,
It'll
won't
be
it?
carnage. Did anyone see the Uruguay exit last night with all the players going into the stands?
The stands.
Yeah.
War.
Darwin Núñez protecting his family.
Who were already
with a left, right, dynamite.
Yeah, absolutely swinging in left, right, and centre, windmilling in. Honestly, I've never seen it.
He's going to get fucked for that, isn't
Marsh.
He went back
He's
into
going to
the
get fucked for
He went
that.
back into the changing room to get his keys before he started windmilling as well. He had some car keys in his hands and that. He was well on for it, wasn't he?
Start spraying everyone with water.
Never knew he had it in him.
What a
I have
guy.
a question for you. I'd love to know what you think on this.
Go on.
Are Leeds local journalists being lied to by the club?
Yes.
Lied to?
Not lied to. I don't think lied to.
Lied to or
misled.
strung along. Misled,
Yeah.
strung along.
I don't necessarily think they've been lied to. I just don't think they're getting as much information as they used to.
What makes you think
Well, I
that?
asked that for it's a loaded question because a BBC Bournemouth area journalist said that there's an option to buy, right? And I said no option because Barron Cross and Graham Smith have both said straight loan, no option to buy. And he said, "Where have you heard that from? That's not the information that I have." And then I said, well, I sent him 2 screenshots of Barron Cross and Graham Smith. So Barron Cross and Graham Smith are saying that the club have told them there is no option to buy. BBC Bournemouth have been told there is an option to buy. So someone's been lied to again.
Wow.
So it appears, and it's only Adam Pope hasn't put it out whether there's an option or not. He's got a piece on it, but the BBC guys in Bournemouth, exact guy's name is, where is he gone?
Do you
Chris
think with them
Temple.
being a Bournemouth player that they're trying to string on a little bit to kind of appease their fan base, maybe?
Well, they
That
signed
they're
him
not
for
tied
I
to-
nothing.
don't know.
They're going for
It's
free.
both. It's a free transfer at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So
Who knows?
this guy, Chris Temple, broadcaster, BBC Premier League, World Athletes, stadium announcer for England, Wembley Stadium, FIFA World Cup, UEFA, has 21,500 followers, and he's saying that he's been told there is an option to buy. And the initial news that came out said option, and now Graham Smith and Barron are saying no option. So
I mean, it doesn't
appears
make
that
a
the two
massive great deal of difference, does it? Because we're not.
No.
Even if we've
I don't think
inserted
it's
that
different
clause,
at all
just to
because it's an
gain it.
option. It's an option. So at the end of the year, if he's had a bad year, you don't sign him. The only reason I asked that was just if it's another example of the last couple of weeks where local journalists aren't being given the full information or are being given the wrong information.
Well, this transfer's come out of fresh air, hasn't it? Let's be honest. So they're not getting told anything pre. It's all the work's been done in the dark. It's literally they're just pulling out of a hat. They already had the videos ready to go. Did you see the picture earlier where they put a picture of Leeds and Rothwell and everything?
He's done his interview with LTV and all.
He's done all that without even anyone getting wind of it. So I like the way they're operating. Do I think the journalists have been lied to? I don't necessarily think they've been lied to. I just think they're not being told all the information. I just think there's ways and means of telling people things without telling the whole truth, but not actually lying.
Who was the new correspondent for The Athletic for us? Correspondent?
It's that lady, innit? What's her name?
I don't know, but she's not very good, is she? Don't seem to be.
She's a bit
I was
like...
going to say, as Nancy tweeted about it, yeah. Romano's tweeted an hour ago, and he went, keep up, mate. Even Nancy got it before you.
Oh, shit. Shots fired. Nancy's in the doldrums.
Foster, isn't it? Foster.
Yeah.
Nancy Froston.
But then again, I mean, you look at the whole situation with Phil A. I mean, he wasn't really at the knife edge anymore, were he? You know, your reliable sources like, Phil A. Once you know that Phil A is reporting it, but you were even retweeting people like Fabrizio Romano were tweeting stuff before Phil, and Graham Smith seems to be probably the main go-to guy.
Bit of news there for you, Joe. Tanswell and Nancy have both said there is an option.
See, this is what I'm asking. This is, again, because if you go and look at Barron's page and you go and look at Graham Smith, they both clearly said straight loan, no option.
Pope said option as well, apparently.
Yeah, this is why I asked the question, because some seem to say option and others have been told. I mean, the fact that they put it in their line, like Adam Pope's got a link to an article, which is there's more detail in there. I haven't read it full, but the other two have put it in their actual tweet and they've said no option. So
going back to the Archie stuff, when there was talk about whether there was a clause in the contract, whether there wasn't a clause in the contract, and everything as well. So it's difficult to know who to trust. Not necessarily to trust because the information comes out eventually anyway. But who can you take as at face value, and who actually can you then regurgitate? Yeah, exactly.
But isn't that a problem though? Because again, if you have to go down the skeptical route, this is fueling the skepticism, I suppose, to a degree. But if you go down that skeptical route, and the local journalists are not being given the full information, and they're commenting misinformation or bad intel because of what they've been told by the club, after a period of time, they lose credibility in the information that they share about the club. So then the club does want to do something bad or underhanded, and it's them that breaks the story. You can go, well, they're not credible. They haven't been credible for years. They've been getting things wrong for months. So you kind of disenfranchise your local press to and I don't necessarily think that's what's happening, but it's another example of cross wires now coming out in the space of 2 weeks, where there's been an awful lot of misinformation and wrong information.
It's testament to how the 49ers seem to be working, isn't it? They don't want people knowing everything or anything, I suppose, until somebody made a great point earlier on in the comments. I can't remember who it was, something about Max Aarons when that got leaked. Ever since then, we've almost been literally silent about everything. CB, that's it. Thank you. We don't really find out much about specifically around about signings. You don't really hear much, do we?
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, though?
I like it. I prefer it.
I prefer it like that.
Stops you getting hijacked. I like it.
I mean, you look at the whole Rothwell thing, and people, it's down to whoever's tweeting it, etc. But some people will like it, some people won't. But if there's skeptical people out there, throwing rumors around left, right, and centre, I don't know. I'm not a fan of all the whole rumors and shitting. Like I say, I always, all the fake Philly accounts that are flying around and all that sort of stuff, it just breeds negativity and it just goes on and on and on, and I just get really frustrated with it. So I'm kind of glad that they've taken that option to not leak anything, or like I say, to keep the old lips sealed or whatever. I think it's a better way to do it.
Loose lips sink ships.
Luke's lips do sink ships. We've got Joe sent me this in a private chat. I'm gonna just flick it up now. What do you reckon to that then?
Should credit the man that
I
actually
like
put the initial tweet out before he sent that to you. A guy
Who is it?
called the guy's name is MOT. So LUFC 1919 on Twitter put that out initially.
There you
That's
go.
class.
There you go.
It's great.
That's pretty good. That. I don't-
It's
The
a
headline
little bit
said
more-
he was great in Spider-Man.
I tell you what, there's a bit more of a likeness there than Jay and Chris Hemsworth, isn't there? So put Jay and Thor next to each other. Is he Thor or is it the other Hemsworth? It is Thor, it is Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
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 Jay's like a fat Tom Hardy.
Cheers, mate.
It's all right. Right, anyway, I'm going to cut it there because we're just rambling on now. So thank you, Joe, for joining us this evening. It's always a pleasure to have you on, sir. It's nice to talk to someone who actually knows what they're talking about. Finally made it like,
Right, Steve.
Oh, here he
Steve,
is.
lucky white
Stephen.
The main man.
On himself.
You have to
Finally
go
made it
back
to
and
a live
watch
and we're
it
going.
from
If you don't
go
watch
back and
Steve's
watch it.
videos, if you don't watch any of his videos, go give him a watch because
You
he
should.
basically just
Yeah, do.
talks
Yeah,
about
they're
all
great,
his
yeah.
content creators and tells us how shit we are or how great some of the stuff is and,
Yeah.
how
Good
people just
watch.
need to take a bit of a chill pill from now and then. So go give him a
White
follow.
Snake.
He's at
Great
least
guy,
he's on
great
it.
guy. Yeah, great guy. And of course, if you haven't seen Joe's stuff, where have you been? Obviously, living under a rock, I assume. But if you haven't seen Joe's stuff, you should go and check that out as well because he does some nice daily updates and things. You're very good at
40k
what
now,
you
aren't
do.
we at, Joe?
You're good at what you do.
41.
Lying up.
Right. No need to brag. You've no need to brag, Joe. You're
It's a full-time job now. I have to make it work, don't I? I have to work for this now.
10 minutes
Where-
a day. That's all he does. He does his 10-minute morning news, and that's it. He's sorted.
That's all that ever goes into it,
Red Bull
Luke,
money
isn't it?
coming
Yeah.
in.
It's just,
We haven't even got three.
Easy money.
Already made for me.
We haven't even got three. We're scraping the battle of the frigging Leeds content stuff. We're down there with three, not even 3K. But, you know, fair play, mate. You do. He
Yeah,
tries more than us, doesn't he?
We're a
We've
bit
got a
Marmite though, aren't we?
hardcore. We've got a hardcore, and I like it.
Yeah. Anyway, but if you haven't and you just happen to be passing, please do like and subscribe. We do have a lot of stuff coming in the new year or new season, whichever way you look at it. We do the post-match stuff. The post-match stuff. We do obviously a weekly pod, technically on Tuesdays, but because most of us are English, apart from Carl, we decided to watch the. Oh, well, Jay, obviously, but yeah, we wanted to watch the football instead. You know, more fool us. But anyway, if you haven't done, please drop us a subscribe. But until next week, I assume we'll probably have another get together then. Thank you very much for joining us, gents. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Adios.